Timothy was a boy of 7, small for his age, with a mop of messy brown hair and eyes that shone with a childlike wonder during the day. But when the sun dipped below the horizon and shadows stretched long and thin, a palpable fear would creep into those eyes, a fear that intensified as darkness enveloped the room. Because for Timothy, nighttime was not a time for peaceful slumber, but a terrifying descent into a recurring nightmare.
It always began the same way. The familiar outlines of my room would slowly dissolve into a thick, suffocating blackness. The comforting scent of my favorite teddy bear would morph into a musky, primal odor that sent shivers down my spine. Then a sound, barely audible at first, but growing steadily louder, a rhythmic thumping that seemed to reverberate in my bones.
The thumping would culminate in a deafening crash as the closet door in the corner of his room burst open, splintering wood and throwing terrifying shadows that danced menacingly on the wall. From the depths of the closet, a hulking silhouette would emerge, growing larger and more menacing with each passing moment. 2 glowing eyes, like burning embers, would pierce through the darkness, locking onto Timothy with a chilling intensity. It was a gorilla, massive and powerful, its thick black fur matted and tangled, its fangs long and sharp as ivory daggers, glinted in the faint moonlight filtering through the window. Each breath it took was a guttural rasp, a terrifying symphony of animalistic fury. The gorilla would stand there for what seemed like an eternity, its gaze fixed on Timothy, the air thick with a palpable sense of dread.
I would scramble out of bed, my heart pounding in my chest like a drum, my breath catching in my throat. The room, usually so familiar and comforting, transformed into a labyrinth of shadows, every corner a potential hiding place, every piece of furniture an obstacle in my desperate flight for survival.
He would run, his bare feet slapping against the cold hardwood floor, the gorilla's enraged roars echoing behind him, each one closer than the last. The chase would lead him on a terrifying journey through the darkened hallways of his home, the gorilla's heavy footsteps pounding behind him, a relentless reminder of the danger that lurked just steps behind. Night after night, the nightmare would replay, each time becoming more vivid, more terrifying than the last. Timothy's nights were consumed by the fear of the gorilla, his days overshadowed by the dread of nightfall. The once vibrant and playful child retreated into himself, his laughter silenced, his eyes haunted by the terrifying images that plagued his sleep.
I couldn't escape it. Every night it was the same thing, the same fear, the same gorilla.
His mother, Sarah, watched in growing concern as her son's spirit seemed to wither. She tried everything she could think of to ease his fear. She replaced the closet door, painted the walls a cheerful blue, even brought home a playful golden retriever puppy, hoping its presence might chase away the shadows that seemed to cling to Timothy. But nothing worked.
Timothy, sweetheart, please tell me what's wrong. We can face it together.
I can't, Mom. It's too real, too scary.
But nothing worked. The nightmare's tendrils stretched beyond sleep, seeping into Timothy's waking hours. The monstrous gorilla haunted his every thought. Each shadow seemed to promise the beast's return.
Gone were the carefree days of laughter and play. My world had shrunk to the confines of my fear.
His toys lay forgotten, gathering dust in the corner. Even the warmth of the sun offered little solace. Sarah watched her son's descent into fear with a growing sense of helplessness. Her heart ached for him for the joy that had been stolen from his childhood.
I tried everything within my power to alleviate his suffering, but the monster in the closet remained undefeated.
Sleep, once a shared sanctuary, became a nightly battleground, her heart breaking with each whimper that escaped his lips. But the gentle melodies were no match for the roars that echoed in his nightmares.
Days turned into weeks, each one an agonizingly slow descent into despair. I felt like a failure, a mother who couldn't protect her child from the monsters that lurked in the shadows.
Timothy, lost in the labyrinth of his fear, retreated further into himself. The vibrant world outside his window, once a source of endless fascination, now seemed distant and irrelevant. He stopped asking to play in the park, the laughter of other children a painful reminder of the innocence that had been stolen from him.
The world outside, it just doesn't matter anymore.
His once bright eyes, now perpetually shadowed with fear, rarely met his mother's gaze. The playful banter that had once filled their days was replaced by a heavy silence, broken only by Timothy's occasional whimpers and Sarah's exhausted attempts to soothe him.
The walls of our home, once a sanctuary of warmth and love, seemed to be closing in, suffocating us with the weight of our shared despair. The scent of freshly baked cookies, once a source of comfort and joy, now hung heavy in the air, a painful reminder of the normalcy that seemed to elude us.
The golden retriever puppy, sensing the palpable tension in the house, whined softly, its tail tucked between its legs. Its playful attempts to engage Timothy were met with indifference, its presence a constant reminder of the helplessness that permeated their lives. One evening, as Sarah sat by Timothy's bedside, watching his chest rise and fall with each troubled breath, a glimmer of hope appeared on TV. The psychologist spoke of the power of the subconscious and confronting fears within dreams.
Intrigued, I leaned closer, my heart pounding with skepticism and hope. One image stood out, a man with piercing blue eyes and a calm demeanor. Clutching at this fragile thread, I felt a surge of determination.
The psychologist's words echoed in Sarah's mind, a beacon of hope cutting through the suffocating fog of despair. The image of Dr. William Bruce, his gaze steady and reassuring, filled her with a tentative sense of optimism.
Could this be the answer to our prayers? The key to unlocking Timothy from his nightmares?
She spent the night researching dream-syncing technology. The research seemed both fascinating and terrifying. The thought of navigating Timothy's subconscious filled her with apprehension and hope.
I have to reach out to Dr. Bruce to plead for his help.
Sarah sat nervously in Dr. Bruce's waiting room, tightly clasping Timothy's hand. The office, a quiet sanctuary, exuded an air of authority.
Mom, do you think this will really help?
I hope so, sweetheart.
The walls displayed intricate anatomical drawings of the brain. Shelves lined with leather-bound books whispered secrets of the subconscious. An antique clock ticked rhythmically, failing to soothe Sarah's heart. Timothy clutched his teddy bear, his eyes downcast. Finally, their turn came. A young woman ushered them into Dr. Bruce's office. The room, bathed in soft, warm light, felt more like a study than a clinical space. Bookshelves lined the walls, hinting at a mind that roamed freely through science and philosophy. Behind a large mahogany desk sat Dr. Bruce, his piercing blue eyes seeing into the very core of those before him. He greeted them with a warm smile, his voice soothing Sarah's frayed nerves.
Dr. Bruce, thank you for seeing us. My son Timothy, he's been having terrible nightmares about a gorilla.
Sarah poured out her heart, describing Timothy's harrowing nightmares and their impact. Dr. Bruce listened patiently, his expression a blend of empathy and professional detachment.
Timothy, I understand that you see a gorilla in your dreams. We are going to face it together.
He spoke to Timothy as one explorer to another, acknowledging the terror in his dreams.
Dream syncing is a bridge between worlds, a way to confront and overcome the monsters in your sleep.
Timothy looked up at Dr. Bruce, a flicker of hope in his eyes, as the promise of a peaceful night's sleep seemed within reach. Dr. Bruce's words sparked a flicker of curiosity in Timothy's eyes.
Maybe this could really help.
Perhaps, just perhaps, this unconventional approach could be the answer we've been desperately seeking. What if something goes wrong? What if the experience, instead of helping Timothy, traumatizes him further?
Dream syncing is not without its dangers, but rest assured my team and I have taken every precaution to ensure Timothy's safety. Imagine a future where sleep is no longer a source of terror, but a sanctuary for rest and rejuvenation.
As Sarah listened, her gaze shifting between Dr. Bruce's reassuring face and Timothy's hopeful yet apprehensive expression, she knew she had a monumental decision to make. The weight of her son's well-being, the future of their family, rested on her shoulders. Dr. Bruce introduced Sarah and Timothy to the team tasked with venturing into Timothy's nightmares.
Meet the team, Sarah. These are the people who will help Timothy confront his fears.
It's different from what I expected.
This is Dr. Volkov. She'll be monitoring Timothy's brain activity. And this is Dr. Tanaka. He ensures the stability of the dream syncing process. Elias here has been through what Timothy is about to experience. He'll be guiding us through.
Elias Vance, a former patient, had confronted his demons through dream syncing, emerging stronger and more resilient. Now he served as a guide, a beacon of hope for those about to embark on their own perilous journeys into the depths of their minds. The lab bustled with controlled activity as Dr. Bruce guided Sarah and Timothy through the preparations.
All right, Timothy, let's get you ready. This might feel a bit strange, but it's all part of the process.
Mom, I'm scared.
It's okay, sweetheart. I'm right here with you. You're so brave, Timothy. We're going to get through this together.
Think of dreams as vast, uncharted landscapes. Dr. Bruce is like a seasoned explorer guiding us through the labyrinthine corridors of the subconscious. The machine's hum is like a lullaby, Timothy. It will help you drift into a peaceful sleep. We will be monitoring you every step of the way.
The preparations for the descent into Timothy's nightmares were nearly complete, and the team stood ready to embark on this unprecedented journey. As twilight painted the sky, the team prepared for the crucial moment, the merging of minds.
Mom, I'm scared.
I know, sweetheart, but remember, you're so brave. You can do this.
Timothy, this is important. We're going to help you get rid of that gorilla once and for all. You won't have to be afraid anymore.
You are stronger than you think, my love. Just remember that.
We're in this together, Timothy. We'll make sure you can dream peacefully again.
With a final lingering hug, Sarah helped Timothy settle into the chair. As they dimmed the lights, Sarah retreated to the observation room, her gaze fixed on the monitors. The dream syncing apparatus hummed to life, its soft, rhythmic pulse echoing through the chamber.
Please, let him be safe.
On the monitors, Timothy's brainwaves danced across the screens, reflecting the transition from the waking world to the ethereal realm of dreams.
We're seeing good progress. Stay focused, team.
Dr. Bruce guided the dream syncing apparatus with precision, navigating the labyrinthine corridors of Timothy's subconscious.
All right, we're almost there. Keep an eye on those readings.
Timothy's mind blossomed on the monitors, a vibrant tapestry of colors, shapes, and emotions. But amidst the beauty, a darkness lurked.
We're in. Prepare for the descent.
The observation room held its breath as Dr. Bruce guided his digital avatar deeper into Timothy's dreamscape.
Steady now, let's take this one step at a time.
Timothy's subconscious mind unfolded in all its terrifying beauty, filled with fantastical creatures and grotesque figures.
Stay strong, Timothy. Dr. Bruce is there with you. He'll keep you safe.
Sarah, her gaze glued to the monitors, felt a wave of nausea wash over her.
Stay strong, Timothy. Dr. Bruce is there with you. He'll keep you safe.
The observation room held its breath. Dr. Bruce pressed onward through Timothy's nightmare, navigating through twisted trees and precarious chasms.
And always the presence of the gorilla lingered, its shadow stretching ahead.
The air grew heavy with the stench of musk and decay, the ground trembling with the echo of its heavy footsteps.
Though shaken by the intensity of the nightmare, I pressed onward. I knew that fear could be overcome.
He drew strength from the faint but steady pulse of Timothy's life signs, displayed on the visor of his digital interface. The boy's spirit, though battered and bruised, still flickered, a testament to the resilience of the human will. As Dr. Bruce ventured deeper, the landscape shifted to a shadowy recreation of Timothy's bedroom.
And there, in the heart of the room, stood the gorilla, its massive form dwarfing the nightmare.
The gorilla pounded its chest with a deafening roar, the sound reverberating through the dreamscape.
Though dwarfed by the gorilla, I stood my ground. I had to find a way to communicate, to pierce through the veil of terror and reach the frightened child within.
Taking a deep breath, Dr. Bruce raised his hands, his palms open in a gesture of peace.
Easy, he said, his voice calm but firm. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help Timothy.
The gorilla paused, its fiery gaze fixed on Dr. Bruce.
Timothy is afraid. He's trapped in a nightmare and you're a part of it. But you don't have to be the monster. You can choose to help him.
The gorilla tilted its head, its expression unreadable. The tension in the room held them all captive.
The gorilla, its eyes narrowed, studied Dr. Bruce. Then slowly, it lowered its head, its gaze shifting to the shadowy corner where a small, trembling figure huddled, the digital representation of Timothy.
The gorilla, no longer a menacing silhouette, lumbered towards young Timothy. Dr. Bruce, his senses on high alert, held his ground. The observation room watched, captivated and terrified. The gorilla lowered itself onto the ground before Timothy, its head bowed low. A deep, almost mournful sound emanated from its chest. Dr. Bruce realized the true battle was not physical but emotional, confronting the root of Timothy's fear.
Forcing a confrontation would only drive the fear deeper into Timothy's psyche.
The gorilla seemed to shrink, radiating a palpable sadness. The dreamscape shifted, reflecting this internal struggle. Darkness receded, replaced by a soft, ethereal light from within Timothy.
Hesitantly, I can do this.
Timothy reached out, his fingers trembling as they touched the gorilla's fur. The gorilla allowed the touch, sending a ripple of energy through the dreamscape.
Gasping, oh my goodness.
Sarah gasped, tears streaming down her face as she witnessed this tenderness. The fear in her heart eased, replaced by a cautious hope. She watched as her son took the first steps towards confronting his demons with empathy. As Timothy's small hand rested on the gorilla's fur, a wave of peace washed over the dreamscape. The monstrous creature bathed in a warm golden light, seemed to dissolve.
Softly. It's gone.
The shadowy bedroom transformed into a field of wildflowers, vibrant colors replacing the darkness. The air now carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers and bird song.
Chuckling. Wow!
Timothy looked around at the transformed landscape, eyes wide with wonder. He looked down at his hand, then up at the rising sun, its golden rays painting the sky. A soft chuckle escaped his lips, echoing through the dreamscape. As the nightmare faded, Timothy's brainwaves settled into a peaceful rhythm. Dr. Bruce initiated the disengagement sequence. The hum of the apparatus subsided. Timothy's face relaxed, a peaceful smile gracing his lips.
Rushing, Timothy!
Sarah rushed to her son's side. The team gently removed the sensors. She cradled him close, her tears a mixture of joy and relief.
Whispering. Mommy?
I'm here, sweetheart. You're safe now. The nightmare is over.
The days that followed were a revelation. The oppressive cloud that had shadowed their lives seemed to dissipate. Timothy's laughter, once silenced by fear, echoed through their home once more. He embraced his toys, his imagination reignited. The golden retriever puppy responded with unbridled enthusiasm.
It was Timothy's own courage, his willingness to confront his fear, that ultimately set him free.
They had stared into the abyss of their deepest fears and emerged stronger, their bond deepened by the shared experience.